Okay, everybody, examples of sector area. We're first just going to start with a review. So find the indicated measure. Letter A says find the area of a circle with a diameter of 5 centimeters. So remember, area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. And we have to find the area, but they did not give us the radius. They give us a diameter. So if the diameter is 5, keep in mind the radius is half of that. So our radius is going to be 2.5. So pi times 2.5 squared. And then I'm going to grab my calculator. Again, make sure you are using your pi button and not 3.14. Otherwise, your answer will be off by a little bit. So pi times 2.5 squared is 19.63. And we're talking centimeters squared, because this is now area. And keep in mind, area is always units squared, because you're talking amount inside. Next one, find the diameter of a circle with an area of 113.1 square centimeters. So area equals pi r squared. Area is 113.1 equals pi r squared. And they want us to find the diameter. Well, keep that in mind, because right now it looks like we're solving for the radius. Step 1, divide both sides by pi. For the moment, I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to round until the very end. So I have 113.1 divided by pi equals r squared. Then if I want to get rid of a squared, we solve by square root. So r equals, and then grab your calculator, square root of 113.1 divided by pi, control enter, is 6.005. So I'm just going to go with 6. And then units, centimeters. Okay, this time it's not squared because we went from area to radius, and I just realized that's not actually our answer, because they didn't ask for the radius, did they? They asked for the diameter. So then we need to take that, let me erase this box, and times it by 2, so our diameter is actually 12 centimeters. Okay, next one. Number 2, you throw a dart at the board shown. Your dart is equally likely to hit any point inside the square board. Are you more likely to get 10 points or 0 points? Okay, now this is a geometric probability. So we have to find the probability that you're going to get 10 points versus the probability that you're going to get 0 points. Okay, so the first thing I'm thinking is we need the area of either 10 or 0, and I think it might be easier to start with 10 points. Okay, so in order to get 10 points, we need the area of red, or I guess it's pink, circle. So area equals pi times the radius squared. And if we take a look at our 10, we have our radius, and they're telling us that that's 3. So the area equals pi times 3 squared, which is going to be 9 times pi, which is 28.27 inches squared. Now I'm going to go with 0 points, which is the area of the blue. So game plan for area of the blue. I'm thinking maybe we go with area of the whole thing, which to me looks like a square, minus area of this big circle. Okay, so if we're doing area of the whole thing is a square. So from here to here, we know is 3, 6, 9. So from here to here, we know is 9, which means on the flip side would be 9. So I know that this is 18, which means I know that this is 18. So we've got 18 times 18. Okay, grab your calculator. 18 times 18, 324. But that's literally the entire dartboard. So we're going to subtract that from that yellow circle, or like every circle inside. So then the area of the circle is pi times the radius. Well, the radius of this whole circle inside, we said was 369. So pi times 9 squared. Control Enter, which is 254.469. So if I want just the area of the blue, I'm going to take these and subtract. So 324 minus 254.469 gives me 69.531. Now, at this point in time, you have enough information to answer the question, but you technically have not done a geometric probability yet. Okay, if the area of the 10-point region is 28 and the area of the 0-point region is 69, and you're equally likely when you're throwing the dart to hit either of them, which one are you more likely to actually hit because there's more area? And it would be the blue region. Okay, there's more of it, so your dart's probably going to land on it more, unless you have really good aim. But then you're losing your equally likely piece. Okay, now in order to do an actual geometric probability, probability is something out of something. If you're going to roll a 1 on a standard dice, it's 1 out of 6. So if we're doing the probabilities, okay, for the 10 points, you have an area of 28.27 out of the whole dartboard. Okay, well, what did we say the whole dartboard was? And we said it was 324. So then we're going to take 28.27 divided by 324, which gets me 0.0872, times that by 100, which gets me 8.7, and actually this, if I rounded correctly, this should be a 3, I'm sorry. So times that by 100, which gets you 8.73. So you have an 8.73% chance of hitting the 10-point circle in the middle. Now, for the 0 points, it was 69.531 out of the whole dartboard, which is 324. So 69.531 divided by 324 is 0.215, times that by 100, or just move the decimal twice, which is 21.46. So you have a 21.46% chance of hitting the 0 blue region. So again, which one are you more likely to hit? Well, the 21%. So 0 point more likely. Okay, find the areas of the sectors formed by angle UTV. So now we're moving on to sector area. Now, if we're talking about area, we're just taking a portion of the area of the circle. So we've got the red sector, which is what I'm going to start with, and then we have the blue sector, and we'll tackle that in just a little bit. So if I'm using the red sector, my angle in there is 70 degrees out of 360. Now, if I wanted arc length, I would multiply by the circumference, but I don't want arc length, I want area. So I'm going to multiply by the area of the circle. And area is pi times the radius squared. So we're going to take in our calculator, control divide, 70 over 360, out to the side, pi times 8 squared, control enter, 39.095, so 39.10. And this is inches squared. Now, in order to find the area of the blue sector, there's two ways we could do this. We could find the area of the whole circle, which we know is pi times 8 squared, and subtract 39.10. But because we're practicing sector area, I'm going to use the formula. So the sector area for the blue is the measure of the arc. Well, they didn't give me the measure of that arc. They gave me the measure of the red arc. So how am I going to find the measure of the blue arc? And the answer is, well, the whole circle is 360, so 360 minus 70 is 290. So for the blue, we're going to take 290 over 360 and multiply by the area. So pi times radius squared. So control divide, 290 divided by 360 times pi times 8 squared, control enter, which is 161.97 inches squared. Okay, so if you want to check that, find the area of the whole circle, add the red one and the blue one together, and you better get the same answer. Find the area of circle V. So this time they gave you the area of the sector. Okay, so if you see that little red A, that's not the area of the whole circle, that's just the area of the sector. And we have to find the area of the whole circle. So we're going to do this two ways. Method 1, we're going to use the formula. So sector area equals the measure of the arc out of 360 times the area of the circle. Well, they gave us the sector area is 35. They gave us the measure of the arc that corresponds with that, which is 40 out of 360 times the area of the circle, which is what we're trying to find. So if I'm going to solve that, I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 360 over 40. I should have made my parenthesis bigger here. Sorry. Okay, so on the left, control divide, 360 divided by 40 times 35 is 315. And then over on the right, those cancel, area equals 315 meters squared. Okay, that's method 1 using the formula. Now, method 2, we're going to use a ratio. Okay, now what they're telling us is the whole circle is 360 degrees, and I've cut it up into sections of 40 degrees. Okay, so that's so many sections. One of those sections has an area of 35. So if I figure out how many sections are in there, 360 divided by 40, and then I multiply it by the area of 35, I should get the same answer. So control divide, 360 divided by 40 times 35, and look at that, you get 315. Whichever method you like best.